Looks like the living quarters are up ahead. It's going to be packed with spacers. Mark my word. Another way down through the caves in the back. Yeah, if your map doesn't match up with reality, time to evacuate because something's wrong. Find out why this was locked. This must be the place. Looks like there's a light in the door, too. How charming.
Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men. Tissue sample? You came all the way down here for that? Must be some damn important cells. You want to tell me what I'm about to be staring? Terrormorf attack, huh? Not exactly sure why you'd be bringing that... Wait, Tau Gourmet? Like Tau Ceti Tau Gourmet? That's a joke, right? There's no settlement old enough on Tau Ceti to have a Terrormorf. Either someone's setting up the worst petting zoo in the universe, or who exactly told you to bring this to me? A colleague hunting Terrormorphs. Mother of God. Adrian sent you, didn't she? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Anything this secluded and purposed exclusively by the military is no doubt used for some top-secret nonsense.
Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right. Just get those cellular markers tagged. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying. Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very... Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terrormorphic. I presume you've heard of Londinian. And for good reason. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tau Ceti. This specimen, It grew there. Faster than any Terrormorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-Terrormorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for human.
Humanity has survived a lot, but this could be a bottleneck event for our species if we survive. And the devastation to society, to knowledge, it would reduce civilization.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? The circle, huh? Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness.
Hey, you might...
Let's see what's out there. For you.
Sidonia can have a depressing effect.
Is that really
Worker robot coming through.
Adrian?
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hatchling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say,
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care.
makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match.
Londinian. That's...
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got...
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our...
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on town with both of us. It can be a daunting experience, which is why I wanted to make sure before you agreed. Percival and I, we're not just... We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battle.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became a practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And they used... Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terrormorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly, and hopefully how to prevent more attacks like... All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Matt.
Good luck. You two are gonna need...
Handling this whole captain thing really well.
Do your part to keep Sidonia graffiti-free.
A shootout in Sidonia. An unnamed threat opened fire on their mark in the middle.
Take your time. How's it going? Cool. That's what... Yo, stay good out there.
I swear that one.
Every time I return, it seems like the city's a bit more crowded.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming. So, in the interest of full disclosure, my relationship with the UC, it's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds, secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. Freestar Collective and UC. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. It's hard to know exactly what might sway. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the... The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, and the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. I strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terrormorfi project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xeno. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties please proceed to the cabinet chambers?
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terrormorf data. Currently have a request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three armistice signatories. UC. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider, though we also have to take into account.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terrormorf attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you...
It's a risk, but so is doing nothing.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well, I am not. I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Yes, a fair assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we... What was that?
Attention.
A moment.
An
Let's catch
incident
up.
has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanners somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, The local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there. That's it! Now hit him with everything you've got! Stop! We're trying to help you!
There's more where that came from. Come and get it.
Thank God you got here when you did.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force. This isn't a joke. We're preventing Now, the way those people were acting.
I don't know. They were down at the... We'd tried to restrain them, get them... But some of the other officers down there... We couldn't restrain them.
Pheromonic projection. Some terrormorphs, they can induce this... It affects everyone differently, but some people just... You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire. And keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please.
Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
It's everywhere.
Think you can take me?
I'm over here! They don't need it now.
Please don't let me die!
Please help.
Stand still. I'm going to wear your skin.
You aren't ready for this, but I am.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your...
You two have any experience with Terrormorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than...
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you. Be prepared.
Closer. Closer now.
We have eradicated all nearby enemies. Captain, do you require my assistance? Yes, Captain.
Why did you leave us?
It's too strong. Give up now.
Here! I'm over here! Oh God! Please don't let me die!
Oh God! Here they come! Please! Please help! Please.
You! Put it down! Put down the weapon or we shoot!
Join us in this.
You'll regret this!
All wrapped up. We'll find a good use for this.
Thank heavens you're back in one piece. Well, I guess our people won.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you.
The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Holy
That's a relief to hear. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terrormorphs, well, consider them valid.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted. Now, after today's events, the cabinet has decided to revisit it, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop.
Yes.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the free... Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and the cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have...
Those creatures still use citizens. They're not killing anymore.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni.
These orders can't be... Yes. Yes. Consider it done. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack.
I was also told the President wants us to get you into the Armistice archives ASAP. So... it was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, you also know then that it was access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of UC.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince two people. The ambassadors of the Freestar. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said.
I couldn't agree more. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get...
And I do mean cooperate. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her... Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're...
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on...
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find...
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to...
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, report suggests there's a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for intel. Maybe.
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. and someone who very likely. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. Ambassador Balmore's. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after he's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests. So, though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. They certainly come with a checkered past. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for him. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out. The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador. It would at least be a speedier negotiation, but I, of course, hope the ambassador is.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, and fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff.
Be smart out there, Captain.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.